What's going on, guys? We've got BFA funnel chat number 14, 15, Lord, I don't know, one of them. So, okay, so we've got people joining in. That's good. Good morning, Rachel. Hope you're doing well. So, sound like you're in an echo chamber. That sounds exciting. So I'll tell you what, guys. Today, what we're going to do, I'm going to take questions. I'd be happy to take questions in the middle of it or at the middle of the end. It doesn't matter. I want to go over like some kind of cool tricks on the pixel. I want to go over the pixel in a little bit more detail, what retargeting, what you can do with retargeting, not like the basic stuff where you can catch, the video, just kind of building on that. And I want to show you guys how to do the custom conversion, which is basically you telling Facebook when to charge you, right? That's when. So just a bit of background here. When you run a post for page engagement, right, or when you run a post for link clicks, what you're really saying is, hey, Facebook, I'd like to pay you every time someone views my ad or engages with my ad, or I'd like to pay you every time someone clicks on my link and gets to this page. And they have that pre-built because it's easy. It doesn't require any manipulation of code, doesn't really require to use the pixel in any way, and it's just something that like 90% of people can just dive in and do. If you do want to take it a little bit further, if you have like a clear end game with your funnel, in which case we do, right? What's our end game with our funnel? It's the Wufoo link or the Typeform survey, or simply just if you're not even going that route, simply just getting their opt-in information. Whatever that is, you can set that as a goal, right? As a custom conversion, and you can tell Facebook, hey, this is my objective. Charge me when this happens, or when people get to this page. And it's not a convoluted process. I'm going to share my screen with you guys in a second here. It's not an extremely convoluted process. Let me know if the sound dips out, by the way, guys. If it does, I'll fix this. Sometimes that happens. Where's my life? Okay. All right. So basically hopping in, this is Ads Manager. This is how to get to the pixel for those of you who don't know, haven't been here yet. The pixel, I mean, it's like learning the bass guitar, right? It's like you can just pick it up and do it, or you can spend like a lot of time mastering it and getting some stuff working. I don't know if that was a good analogy or not, because I'm pretty bad at the bass guitar one way or the other. But the way to do it, I'm gonna just go through the step-by-step of how I would do this. And if you guys have any questions, just shout and I'll switch back over to the screen. Does that sound fair? Cool to everyone? Okay. So you're in Pixel, right? And then you probably have a different looking screen than I do if you haven't done anything with this, but inevitably you're gonna get to a page like this, where you're gonna set up your Pixel, okay? Install your Pixel code. You're gonna go down to the bottom here where it says copy and paste the code, okay? And then I do two things, right? I mean, I'll copy this, and you could leave it here, you don't have to do much, but I wanna go over to Evernote, which I've done here already, and just label it as the base pixel code, copy this in. This code right here, this basic code, then the section 1 of the install pixel base code, that goes on every single page of your funnel, okay? That goes on the landing page, it goes on the thank you page, it goes on, if you integrate your Wufoo form into your lead pages. If you've got a multi-step funnel where you have benefits consultations, I know Jake Coker is doing a bit of a different, like an event funnel type of a thing. No matter what you're doing, this code right here goes into yours. The only difference, and I swear the only difference in my code versus yours, and I could even send this to you, is this number right here is your Facebook Pixel ID, and you'll find that same number down here, right? So in your Pixel code, the only difference is these numbers will be placed by your sequence of numbers. Does that make sense? That's how you make it yours. That's how they send this tracking to your account as opposed to someone else's account. Okay, so the other one that we can look at is the conversion goal, which if you scroll down here, you hit next. They call it event codes, I suppose. The one I go, you could either do lead or complete registration. Lead for me, I'll drop this one. Y'all can still hear me, right? Am I still? Okay, cool. Every now and then, man, someone just scream out like, "We can still hear you. Stop asking us that," or something like that, because the sound will drop off, and the internet will drop off, and I'll just keep talking and talking and talking.
Yeah, you're good. You're good, Todd.
Cool, man. Appreciate that. So, for our purposes, unless you're trying to like track the value of these things and just to see if you are you know, I would skip this part, click on basic, right? And then just take this code right here, just copy that code in, and you're gonna paste it in under where it says, where the head code /head ends, and it's gonna say script. You see this like this, here, let me see if I can make it bigger. This garbage down here, this blue stuff, script, FBQ, track, event name, all that stuff. This, in between these two scripts is where you're gonna copy in this thing that you just have right here. And so instead of it saying FBQ track event name, it's gonna say FBQ track lead, right? This is important. This is definitely important for us to move forward. Looks like we have some questions coming in, but I'll get this done so far. So what this is gonna look like when you're done with it is basically, I mean, if you take a look at these codes, right? I mean, they're almost identical. The only difference is after the head, I have a second script here that says, make it bigger for you guys. You know, FBQ track complete registration, and I placed a value of $5 on it because I don't really want to spend more than that per lead. It's to taste, and you know, I'm just lazy and kind of spoiled, so I don't want to spend more than that. So this code, right? This conversion code goes in your destination page. When I say destination page, if you have a two-part real estate buyer funnel, this goes in your thank you page. If you have like a multi-part thing where you want people to like buy a product, like I know a couple people in the tribe here, the Cranes, Yakov, they have like a product that they sell, like a physical, not a physical, but a digital product similar to what Ryan has. You'll want to tack this into the order confirmation page, right? So after they order or after they purchase the product, you'd want to have this track that. Not so much for sure, for retargeting purposes, of course, you can hit them with a different audience and think into a different audience with more ads, absolutely. But it's more to the sense of telling Facebook that you don't really want to pay for anything but this, right? And you can go ahead and say something ridiculous like complete registration value $1, something like that. It's either going to ignore that $1 and just tell you what it is, or you're going to get absolutely zero conversions or something like that because it's not worth it. So what I drop this for mine. Oops. I would like to drop this for mine. The value currency. So just the basic tracking code, which the only difference is this right here. This can say complete registration, lead. It doesn't matter which one you choose, really, to be honest, as long as you can keep track of that in the future. Because when you go to make your ad, first of all, does anyone have any questions on this? I went through this kind of quickly. I had a lot of coffee this morning, and I'm kind of excited right now. So is everyone cool with what I'm doing so far?
Yeah.
Sure? Rachel, good? Okay. I'll go back to it now. So once you have, and then to everyone, once you have this pixel built, and again, the only difference here, right, is I just took this script right here that they give you in the Facebook page. I don't make this up, like I couldn't write this if I tried. And you just drop it in after where it says end Facebook pixel code, this head script, right? Because you're basically starting a whole new script up here, okay? So, and that's for some reason where they want you to drop it in, because if you go back to this, they tell you to drop it in right after the head script, FBQ script, done, right? So again, take this, put it in here after the code is there. When you have that new updated code, that code goes in your destination page, like the final page of your funnel. Once that's done, and you're going to see the same thing I am here, and I kind of wanted to do it this way just so I could show you that you're going to see it, almost like it says it's not going to work almost, but that's not the case. When you go to conversions, like, okay, so you're buying an ad, you're creating an ad, right? You click on conversions. Normally you'll click on, boy, I can't talk today. Traffic, lead gen, engagement, brand awareness, something like that. In this case, you just click on conversions, right? And you'll scroll down, and you can name this, anything you want. Campaign, buyer, full funnel completion thing. That sounds mildly erotic, and I apologize for that. So we'll just move past that. Come on, guys, keep it together, huh? The website thing, you're going to go ahead and click on this, And you're going to have a few of these things open. A few are going to be red, a few are going to be, dark. But scroll down to the one that you created, right? Lead or complete registration. Mine shows up red for the same exact reason your guys going to show up red, because I haven't done this in 14 days and there's nothing for it to optimize with, right? But you're going to go ahead and click that through once that's in there. And this only works, guys. So if you're in lead pages, for example, it depends on where you're doing this. In lead pages, if you're doing this, new bastardization of the old lead pages where this whole thing is drag and drop, God bless you, but the place you find it is tracking, right? Analytics, head section tracking code, okay? In every page other than your destination page, right, your opt-in or your, if you have like a, whatchamacallit, an event page thing that you're doing, any of those things get your base code. So that they get this code right here, right, without the event, right, the conversion event. On your final page, like the thank you page, you're going to go ahead and put in the modified code with the complete registration, things like that. Here's the theory behind why we're doing that. Where y'all at? Okay, so the reason we're doing that, when we're saying we only want to pay when people get to this page, right, and we're labeling this page complete registration just for our knowledge, hashtag knowledge, hold on. The reason that we are doing it that way is because, there's only one way to get to that page, right? To get to the thank you page, and that's by opting in. Hopefully, if everything else works smoothly. If they don't opt in, they don't go to that page. So what you're saying isn't that you're paying for, you're paying for website click for someone who can bounce. You're paying for people who get to the next page in your funnel, which is the opt-in. And when they get there, you'll pay, and you might pay a little bit more, but you're guaranteed to pay for only things that actually work. Now you're also getting that same retargeted audience of people who visit your page but don't opt in, just like before. That's why I had you drop your base pixel code in every step of your funnel, except that last one where we put in the advanced one. So the purpose behind doing that is, again, you're only going to pay when people opt in, right? Because that's how they get to your thank you page. And you're still going to get all your retargeting stuff, so you can still retarget your ads to them. There's different schools of thought with retargeted ads. Just to go into it a little bit. I like urgency, right? I mean, you can promote urgency by, saying something like, and it's not always like, just, please watch what you say with these things, because there's a lot of room for like Ryan calls like dark side non-Jedi manipulation. But you can say something like that. That home you were looking at just went off the market or just got bought, right? Phrase it in a way that it doesn't sound like, you're targeting the language. Because if you target the language, say you in Facebook, they'll kick that back. So you have to be kind of careful of that. But you could, run an ad suggesting that, the homes they're looking for are now off the market if they've actually, in fact, looked for homes. You can run an ad because now those people are interested in buying a home. You can run an ad based on yourself talking about how passionate you are about real estate and loans and, how much you love to help people and things like that, and devote a whole page to that. I have one, the same way, which just like my video of me talking about why I do things and my background, my past. Matt, if for your book funnel, I don't know, maybe you can chime in. Which platform are you selling your book on, or at least drawing traffic to your book?
We're doing it on, with the book funnels on lead pages, and then the book itself is going to be on Amazon.
Okay, cool. Okay, good. Now I know Amazon has a way of interacting with Facebook too for audiences. I don't want to speak to that right now because I'm not entirely sure how it's done. But let's maybe talk in the future if you have interest in doing that, because there's kind of a cool.
Yeah, I did a call yesterday with Ryan, and he kind of said something like, "Hey, we can get Todd and Pat involved, and we can build some kind of like a funnel on steroids to drive traffic to the book."
I love both of those
once
things,
it's for sale. But what I really wanted to do was exactly what you just, described is, right now I've got the lead page, it's a picture of the book, and then you opt in, you put your information in, it takes you to a thank you page. I would put the conversion in my thank you page so that I'm only paying for leads that actually opt in and have given me their info, to receive the, to be in my forever list of email addresses until they unsubscribe. But right now, I'm getting leads for my book, my leads are about $1. So That's not bad.
No,
I mean,
no,
considering what it'll cost to print the book and send it out, if everybody on the list, I paid $1 to get them on my list. I mean, that's cool. I'll do that all day.
oh, absolutely. That's fantastic. Shit,
But
man.
if
I
I
mean,
can do it even cheaper, it's even better.
and you're doing like the same thing Ryan's doing, or like you're doing the free, but plus not $7.97, or you just charging full price for the book and.
No, well, it's not for sale yet because we should be done with it probably, I would say, within the next week, and then it'll hit Amazon. So right now, what I'm doing is I'm saying if you stay up to date on the release date, I'll walk you. I'll give you a sneak peek behind the scenes of how I'm doing the writing and the editing and all that kind of stuff. So I'm sending out like an email every day. But if people opt in, I'm giving them the intro and chapter 1 digitally in their inbox like right away. So it's read the first chapter in the introduction today, and then hopefully the drip email every single day up until the book's released is enough to keep people interested enough that they'll buy it at the end.
Yeah, man, that sounds great, dude. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and we're considering doing like a 2 where maybe like a week before it launches. So maybe like probably about this time next week, we'll probably start like a pre-order.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe do it for $5, and then everybody that wants to pre-order, same thing. We'll give them the same chapter 1 in the introduction. They'll go into the normal email slot, but then they'll be dropped off at a PayPal or SAM card or Swipe or whatever we ultimately decide to do. And then on the day the book launches, I'll just order however many people have pre-ordered it. Maybe I'll autograph them or some shit. I don't know.
Nice. I want one of those if that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I think Ryan and I were talking yesterday. I think we're going to do a contest.
Yeah. Guys, did I lose you here? I feel like
And then he'll sign them since he's doing the forward. And then, if you win the contest, if you're, one of the 15 people, you get an autographed copy from both me and Stuman, the Stuminator.
The Stuminator, that's awesome. Hey, sorry if I lost you guys for a second there. I'm still here, and you're all still here. The internet dropped off briefly. So, yeah, man, that sounds like a really good idea, and this is something where you can have some play with this too, because sometimes, I mean, there's different ways. Like there's present myself here. There's like the. Am I doing the right order? This is right to left. Okay. There's the the landing ad, obviously landing page, thank you page way of doing it. Depending on what the landing page is, you can have like a what am I thinking here? Like a if you send them back to a lead page after they buy the book, right, for a thank you. And if there's a way to, I'm not sure if there's a way to do that, but if there's a way to do that in some way, then sending them back to that page you can actually have be your like complete registration.
Gotcha.
And that one's like you're tracking when someone actually buys, right? Like I said, Amazon has its own thing. So if you're going to go strictly Amazon, you're not going to do your own thing. Then I would say don't worry too much about it, that part of it. But just put that that conversion code in your thank you page for sure, because then you're going to be tracking the opt-ins, and you can even place a value on those. Not over 75 cents, something like that. And if you do see it's going over 75 or going over $1, then this method obviously is not working, and it's time to regroup. And that's the main purpose of putting in this part here. Let me show you one more time. Everyone, the event tracking down here. The main purpose of that with the dollar amount, which is here, is just what's that?
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to say you had it on the lead page there, the $5.
Oh yeah. That's right. So yeah, I mean, good. So that's basically, this is me saying I'd like to keep it under $5. If it goes over $5, and there's a problem. If it's vastly over $5, I have to pull the ad. But this is kind of for my own mental tracking. I don't know that this will kick out anything that's going to be over $5 worth of a bid. I don't know that that's true, but I know that this is at least a way of saying that you don't want to pay until you get to this page, and you place a value on this for this, and you can track this valuation and profitability from this quote unquote profitability, because we don't actually get paid for most of us. On the when someone completes the registration, we don't get paid for like 120 days for most of us, right? So So profitability, maybe not, but at least you can find out what you're actually paying per opt-in, paying per Wufoo survey and things like that without having to go and like bust up the calculator. It'll just kind of tell you. So, you know, does anybody have any questions on this method so far? I know it's like, it sounds like it's really easy to do. Would it help if you know, I just kind of did it in front of you guys one time?
Yeah, well, I think so. I mean, I'm familiar enough with doing the pixel that I totally understand what you just did, but can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I guess the question I have is really more of like a logistics thing. So normally on the pixel, we would run an ad, and then we would pixel them, and then we could retarget them in a separate ad later. Now, in this custom conversion, you only run one ad, and it's automatically retargeting until it gets them to that final destination. Is that kind of how that works?
So that's a good question. If I'm understanding right, you're wondering if the whole custom audience thing where you can retarget to is still in play, right? With this system, correct?
Right.
Okay, so it is, but you know, it's in there and it's separate. So the way to do it is, I'm just gonna present to everyone. Okay, the way you do that, you have the one pixel for everything. I mean, that's kind of, you know, well known. You know, the pixel can be augmented and put into different places. But just because you're running that converted, that event tracking pixel here, doesn't mean that you can't go ahead in here, not in here, in audiences. Create a custom audience, and then based on the website traffic, anyone visits your page, you can have a custom combination of these things, right? And you all know how to do this, but I'm not going to go too deeply into building like the custom audience. I'm pretty sure all pretty comfortable with that, right? With, you know, this part right here. If not, I can just really quickly. You know,
yeah, no, I mean, I think most of us are good with that.
Yeah, I would think so. But you know, I would just run it to anyone who visits your website. Or if you have multiple domains, right, then, you know, maybe that's something to consider here. You know, so like people who visit specific web pages, no, anyone who visits, and this is the one, and you have a list of all your active pixely domains. Again, the other one I have right there, you're not going to see that yet because it has no traffic and no optimization, stuff like that. So you actually have to get things running before you can do that. But that being said, I mean, this is how you'll do that. So this is how you do it concurrently. So anyone who visits your web page, as people opt in or not opt out, as people click on your I think I was having Matt present the whole time I was talking. I apologize. I was like clicking on the wrong thing. As people visit your landing page, right, that audience will fill up with people. As people visit your that audience will fill up people, even though you're only being charged when someone opts in and gets to the next page. Now that big old list of like, let's say 100 or 200 or 500 people on the original page that didn't opt in, it's still in play. You would still just, you know, create a separate ad or maybe the same ad, run it to that new custom audience, so the old audience that you're currently running to, right? Maybe a different ad, maybe the same ad, and then it's exactly the same from that point forward. The only main draw for the conversion pixel is again just telling Facebook when to charge you, and B, getting a sense of how much you're paying for each step in this process. Does that make sense? Is that kind of like non-answer? I'm not sure if that answered or not.
Yes and no. I'm trying to think, because originally, you know, when we were doing just the normal pixel, it was, we would set up a custom audience, right, of like what we wanted to target, and then we would get them to, you know, we were paying for clicks, right, so that would get them to our lead page or our click funnel or whatever, and then they would get pixeled, and then we could set up a whole nother campaign to retarget them based on the fact that they had visited our website, right?
Yes.
So that's like the normal way to do it. If we are running the custom conversion in that main ad, does it then continue to advertise and try to get people back to that thank you page that hasn't visited yet. Is that kind of how that works? So it's almost like automatic retargeting?
Yes, 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 absolutely. So when you said automatically, I thought for some reason you meant like the campaign automatically builds. No, okay, sorry.
No. Yeah. No,
no,
I understand. So, okay, so cool. So it's like an automatic retarget within the original ad.
Exactly. And the reason that is the case is because, and I keep sharing my screen, jumping over and probably confusing you guys a little bit, but the reason that is because you're still dropping this base code in every single page, right?
Correct.
So no matter what happens, no matter what this code catches, this code will inevitably catch anything else. And this code is the one that sends people to that custom audience, right? You can also build a custom audience based on the conversion code too. Granted, it's going to be much, much smaller unless you're selling like a digital product where you're going to be selling like a few hundred of those a week or a month or something like that. I would say retargeting based on the conversion one might not be worth it, to your point. The base code, absolutely, you're going to get a ton of people on there. And that's what. So yeah, business as usual as far as the original base code and creating a custom audience from that. And like you said, being able to run a campaign to that audience as a retargeted thing, that's business as usual. The only thing that I would do just to make sure you're not offending your current customers by telling them to buy the book a second time is, and guys, let me know if this is like frustrating if I keep jumping back and forth like this. I just figured this is the best way to help. But the only way to keep people who did buy happy is you go here back to this one and you say people who visit specific page but not other. And then for this one, you would just go Matt.landing page. And then for this one, you would go like Matt end page or thank you page, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right. So it's
so like the thank you for buying my book page, that they would be excluded so that they're not going to continue to get retargeted because they've already bought it.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
Thanks for clarifying that, man, because this is a good question. So for anyone who missed what Matt was asking and how this applies to you, even if you're not selling books, if you build in your Wufoo form into your landing page, which I do, you don't have to. Ryan doesn't teach it, but I do because I want to keep everything. I'm kind of one of those like a little bit OCD people. You can't tell me I looked at my desk. This is a catastrophe. I just moved. You can't judge me on this, but I like to have things categorized like that. So for like real estate folks, right? What you can do, how this applies to you is that if when someone opts in, real estate and mortgage, when they opt into your Wufoo form and they fill out your survey, chances are you're going to be retargeting to everyone who visited your page right now, because that's the easiest way of doing it. But you're going to see that the people who filled out the Wufoo form, if you're going to run something indicative of the fact that, hey, you didn't fill out this form yet, or your form is almost done, similar to what Matt's going to do when someone gets to the checkout cart but doesn't actually buy the thing, he's going to run an ad saying, hey, your cart's still full, or maybe throw a promotion in there or something like that. It's the same general process, because you are, you're basically saying that, you're promoting everyone who's on the front end of your funnel. When I say front end, I'm talking about before the actual conversion goal, to get to that conversion goal, without actually telling the people on this conversion goal here that they need to be going back in here, because there's other ads you may be running to these conversion goal people who actually went all the way in that you wouldn't be running to the other people there. For example, I personally wouldn't run like my Todd Holland ad, like why Todd is a good choice, why I care about what I do, etc., unless I have like a list of Woofers or like a list of people all the way through, because these are people who already indicated like a strong interest, right? Not just like an interest, because you have the lead, right, which is like they click on the ad, which is as Ryan puts it, close number 1. You have the opt-in, which is close number 2, and then you have the Wufoo form, which is close number 3. If I've already closed them 3 times, I shouldn't even really have to retarget them. I could just pick up the phone, but then I want to retarget those people with me, because then when I go there for the listing presentation, when my team does it, I don't do this anymore. When my team does it, they're like, man, I see you everywhere. It's like, yeah, you see me everywhere because I'm specifically targeting you to see my ads. I mean, it's like, almost, you draw a line around your prospects and say, okay, everyone in this circle, I want to see this ad. That's the only time that I would really like run an ad to someone who's already gone all the way through your funnel, right? I'm not sure if that makes a whole lot of sense to everyone. I probably should have shown that instead of explained it, but the theory kind of probably holds true, right? Does that kind of make a little bit of sense?
Yeah, totally. I went a perfect example of this. I mean, it's another book thing, but Frank Kern. I mean, obviously Frank Kern's kind of the master at a lot of this stuff. I mean, what he does is just mind blowing. But I ran his funnel because, one, I wanted to read his book, but two, I also wanted to see kind of what his marketing game is like. And so he had an ad on Facebook, and it was basically like a picture of him, and he was like, "Hey, click here and get my book." And so you click over, and it takes you to a landing page that he basically has through Infusionsoft, and you have to pay $6 or something for the book digitally. Like, he's not giving it away for free, but it's basically like a discounted price. And then so you put your shit in there, and then you pay for the book, and then he sends you an email, and it says, "Hey, here's the book you ordered." Well, I didn't download it for a couple days, right? Because I was just like, all right, I got it, cool. I flagged the email, and I'm like, I'll go back and get it when I got time. Well, then immediately after that, I started seeing a different ad that said, "Hey, you haven't downloaded my book yet." Yeah. So obviously he had retargeting code in the actual download page. And then once I downloaded the book, because I was like, well, shit, Frank, I'm tired of seeing this ad. I downloaded the book, and then the next thing I saw was an ad that said, "How'd you like my book?" And I was like, man, this guy's retargeting. This guy's game is strong. Like, this is legit.
Yeah, no doubt, man. You can do that through Infusionsoft. This is not a plug, so everyone plug your ears, but you can do that through Lead Traps pretty well too. Where the same exact thing you're talking about. I think that might be something to consider there, because you have event code in your email that corresponds with tracking code at Facebook and everywhere else. Google too, if you want it. Gmail, things like that. Folks, has the internet quality dropped off here such that you can no longer hear or see me?
No, you're good. It gets a little choppy every once in a while, but for the most part, it's still pretty good.
Yeah, it's good over here too.
Oh, you're good, Rachel?
This is actually Laura on Rachel's computer, but yes.
Oh, okay, cool, perfect. Yeah. Awesome. I don't know you guys are working together, so I'm starting to get a. Laura, do you have any questions?
No, I think we're following along okay. It might be a replay moment, but I think 75% of it we got. Yeah.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, and don't be scared just to stop me and have me ask questions, because I go really fast and I get in my own world pretty easily. Anyone who knows me more than like 2 weeks can tell that I can't really focus on one thing more than 15 seconds. So, millennial problems deserves a hashtag, I suppose. But so let's take some questions from the group from Entourage. See if anyone's asking questions there. Let me hop up.
Yeah, I was answering the ones that I could as they came in.
That's cool, man. I appreciate that.
Justin wanted to know where your closer mug is.
It's this damn thing right now. It's a grapes.
Hashtag California.
Oh man, I need to have a specific very cool coffee mug or very cool shirt every time I come on board with you guys, because I swear. So I'm gonna go back here. It looks like y'all are doing pretty well here. Let me see here. I would ask, man, hang up. I know obviously nothing but Pixel. I'm lost. Fair enough. Replay available. Stuck in training class. No problem. Drop Pixel on my sites. Matt, you covered it. Cool, man. Matt, you are a freaking lifesaver this time around. I appreciate you. Maybe come on all my things. So,
no problem, man. It's like
I'm going to have you attend all of my funnel
like
chat.
the funnel chat podcast almost, or vodcast.
Ooh, yes. I kind of like that. Make it happen. You tack it onto the Rockstar Closer podcast too, if he'll let us. You're probably
yeah, there you go.
He's cooler than I am. He's not going to let me homework. Okay, so I'm going to go through and literally walk through this step by step for you guys.
Oh, that's awesome. I was just about to ask for that.
I know. I'm a mind reader. That's my second gig is telekinesis. Telepathy doesn't matter. Here we go. So share the entire screen. I'm going to pretend you don't have this here, right? Like you didn't do this part yet, because most of you haven't. So I'm going to back it up. Okay. Perfect. And all right, so you're an ads manager, right? You are going to click on the 3 bars, look at the menu thing, drop down to all tools, fourth from the left, Pixel, there, okay? it's gonna, if you haven't done anything here yet, it's not gonna look like mine, but you're gonna find a way to set up the pixel. Okay. Well, the first thing, let me just check this thing really quick. I want to see what this is. So, okay, yeah, no, this just tells you how to do it. So this might actually be a cool video for you guys to watch, just to see what the process is, like how to get in there and things like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I watched it and it was kind of confusing, and I'm pretty good at this kind of stuff, so I don't know if it'll help or not.
Yeah, understood. And then they want you to replay it, so it's like, oh, it'll make sense the second time you do it. It's like, well, you're writing in tiny ass chicken scratch, so what can I do? So anyway, you're gonna be, sorry, Rachel and Laura, I got, again, 15-second limit. Set up your pixel, copy and paste the code. You're gonna get to this screen or some variation of this screen. This is your base pixel code, and I want you to save this somewhere, because as you augment this, you're going to want an easy way to do that, right? So the way you do that, save it there. If you have Evernote, great. If you don't, you know, some other way of keeping notes where you can, you know, get to it elsewise. So you just label it base code and remind yourself on every page, right? Paste that in there. Okay. You're going to go back over here, click next, and you're going to install the event code. I recommend basic. Hell, you can do advanced if you want, but that's certainly far beyond my purview. And you're going to go down to any one of these. I mean, just you can choose the one that makes the most sense for you, but it's not going to affect how this thing behaves. If you choose to put add to wish list instead of complete registration, it's not going to do anything different. You just have to remember that that's what you what the hell, that's what you used. That's what you used for the for that particular thing. Sorry, I just want to make sure that I was still being seen. I'll choose lead because that's what we're really doing here is we're getting leads, right? So you copy this code. You scroll down here, you know, just follow along these instructions if you miss this. You know, send events on a page load, which is what you really want. So okay. This might get a little more complex than it needs to, but let me just break this down for you here. There's two options on how this works. Okay, one is to send events on a page load, i.e. when someone gets to a specific page, like your thank you page. And this is for an inline action, which is like if somebody clicks on a certain button on your page, or if they mess with a certain HTML thing, or if you have a like a scheduling button, like schedule an appointment now with us, this is what you would do there, right? But for us, option A, right? And just keep, you know, be aware of where this script is, because that script that you just copied here, the script FBQ track, blah, 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 Mandarin Chinese, comes in under the head code where that's done. So when you have your new code here, what I will probably do is copy this. See how this one is a little bit different than this one? Guys, see how this one has like head and this one doesn't have head in it? And this one has a couple more things down here, like no script. Well, I guess this has no script too. But just, you know, these are small differences. What you're going to want is to go down here where it says FBQ track event name script. And what you're going to do is you're going to get rid of this line of code. Okay. And you're going to pick, no, bad. You're going to go back to this thing right here, this script that you're copying, copy that to your clipboard. Again, right under the head, drop it in like that. Okay. And that is it. I mean, that's what you have to do. So just to reiterate, you have your base code here, and then you have a code that is your conversion tracking code that you copied literally just from this option 2 right here. Can you do option 2? You have to go back. Go back. It's this one right here, option A, the option A code, with this script or any of these scripts, frankly, that you put in down here underneath the head tag where it says this event track, blah, blah, blah thing right here. that's about the most technical thing that you guys are going to learn with Facebook ads is what I just did for you. So if this seems like Chinese and if you're already frustrated with either me or the universe or some form of government because of this, I understand that. I feel the same way 99% of the time for various reasons. It's okay. So feel free to reach out to me about this too if it's confusing for you. But basically all you do is copy this 2.2, paste event code. You copy this, paste it. And this little final line here, you just go back up here, copy this same code from, I guess, 2.1, copy event code, jump back over, and replace this last line with that line of code, okay? Then what you're gonna wanna do is take, again, this is, are we calling this the base code right here? Yeah, take the base code, the first one, the very, very first one that you copy, the one I said from, here, I'm gonna back up. There's no need to rush through this stuff. So when you first started, locate the header code for your website, copy this entire pixel code and put it in the website header. This is the one that you're gonna put on every single page in your funnel, except for your final page. So if you have a 2-page funnel, which is, you know, opt-in, right? Opt-in plus thank you page, right? Then, you know, you're gonna put in the base code on your opt-in, and on your thank you page, you're gonna go ahead and copy in that more complex code. Yours doesn't say complete registration, yours says lead. If you're following along with mine, it doesn't have the currency stuff to it because we went the basic version, but that's the code you're gonna copy in here. Rachel and Laura, are you with me so far on this?
Yeah, we're good. That was helpful, thank you.
Absolutely. So that's the hard part. After that, like I said, business as usual, create a custom audience. Let me just do it. Let me just do it. Where are we? Okay, after that's done, you're gonna want to, we're already here, fantastic. Create a custom audience of website traffic. Anyone who visits specific web pages but not others, right? And this is kind of how I would approach this if you want to. And listen, guys, if you want to retarget everybody regardless whether they opt in or not, like if they opt in, you want to hit them with the same ads, all you have to do is choose anyone who visits your website and just type it, you know, the domain that it's on when it starts registering, it's going to be dropped down. You can click on that or you can type it in yourself, the actual domain. But, you know, for this, just for the sake of something cool, we're going to do it where if people visit your main page, but they don't go to your thank you page, right? So I'm going to go ahead and say include people. You know, I think mine is. I'm not even sure if this is my lead pages account. I just logged in and it was here, and I was using someone else's. So I'm not going to use that URL specifically, but you know, mine would be like. I like to have it exact also because it makes a little more sense. So URL equals is the way to make it the exact, which is like toddholland.leadpages.co/ I don't know. It's never going to be opt-in because that sounds bad, but just to give you a sense of what I'm talking about, it's the opt-in page I'm referring to. And exclude people who are at toddholland.leadpages.co/ thank you. I'm not saying you have to do this, okay? I just want to really, really stress this. I'm not saying you have to do it this way. I just like to do it this way because when they get to the thank you section, like I was saying, I like to go more personal, right? This step in the process is asking them, do you have any interest in buying a home whatsoever enough to give me your information? If the answer is yes, the next ad there is like, okay, now that you have an interest in buying a home, would you like to find out more about the best goddamn realtor on the planet? Okay, well, that's an exaggeration, but that's, you know, you make your own video so you can make yourself seem as awesome or as lame as you choose to. I mean, that's your purview there. Name your audience, something that makes a little bit of sense, like let's say buyer funnel buyer funnel non-opt-in retarget. I'm going to create the audience, and it's going to have like nobody in that audience, right? Because we're just doing this. It's going to say audience too small. Don't worry about that. You know, this is dynamic. So as you run your ads, as business as usual, as you run your ads, you are going to see this number go up and up and up and up. And then when it's, I think, reasonably high, I don't know what the number is. I think it's like 1,000. It could be like less than 1,000, but reasonably high, this is going to turn green, and you can start running ads to that new audience, right? And then, you know, like I said, all you have to do then when you create the ad, for those of you who aren't actually doing this yet, I'm just going to show you how to do this. You can do like any kind of, you can do a conversion, you can do engagement, brand awareness at this point, doesn't matter, video views. So we'll do traffic just for fun. And you can, forgive me, you can use a custom audience here that you just made. Now again, this, you can't run this because it doesn't have enough people, but when it does have enough people, you click on that, and then it'll populate out with you know, the number of people you've actually targeted. If it's over a certain amount, you can just do that and then just rerun the ad specifically to this audience. So guys, the only difference in retargeting, and this is you know, it's really cool. The only difference in retargeting is who that sees the ad, hence the target, right? You run kind of like a shotgun approach. You get as many people as you can, get this number up above like 1,000. Once that's done, you know, switch it up a little bit and then just start running to your custom audiences. And you can even add or combine custom audiences, you know, together. You can say like, you know, my customer list plus my retargeting stuff. I mean, the choice is really yours. I don't know the exact functionality between like the amount that you pay versus the conversion. I think the case is you'll pay a little bit more per click or something like that using retargeted ad, but your conversion would be very, very much higher. Because again, you have people who've already indicated interest in your product, and now you're just hitting them with more and more ads to come in until they actually opt into your product, and then you're good. Then you run this ad as you normally would, launch it, and then it's just going to go, instead of to that big, you know, the saved audience thing that we always talk about here. Everyone's like, you know, what's your targeting? What's your targeting? You know, that's what they're talking about is an audience called a saved audience. We've all seen this, that you build out in accordance to what the interests are. Instead of that broad shotgun, now you're just running it to like a very small custom audience. When you have that custom audience built and big enough to be like something that people care about, you can go ahead and create a lookalike audience based on that custom audience. And what you're basically doing is telling Facebook, hey man, hey Facebook, this is what I'm interested in. I want California realtors. Obviously, I want them in the United States. I don't understand why that's not at the top, but that's, you know, hopefully the new president can change that. God damn it. United States, and then you can expand or shrink based on whatever you want, right? If you're looking for nationwide realtors, that's fine. If you're just looking for, you know, California realtors or something like that, what you can do is, you know, span this one out as much as you can, and then just, you know, segment this audience based on location too. You can do that. So what I'm talking about is you create this audience of, it's going to be like 2.1 million. I created 3 audiences. God damn it. Okay, well that's cool. What these are, this is like the percentage of similarity, I guess, like how far out you expand it or something like that. The point is that when you actually run an ad to one of these, start over. Let's do traffic again because they don't ask for any other information until very end, just to test it. And you go in here and you want to run a lookalike audience here. You just go, let's say I don't know, it says under 20 people because it's still loading. Let's say you do that. You just choose one. And then if you have a specific state you need to be targeting, like if you're state licensed or something like that, like I'm California, I wouldn't do all the United States. I would just do, you know, California. I might even do like my hood too, like Temecula. That's okay too. And again, this probably is confusing to you guys. Like, why are you taking California realtor, expanding out to the entire country and bringing it back in? This is just the audience I chose. I mean, you can just as easily create a lookalike audience off of any other customer list. You know, people who have engaged on your page, things like that. You can build a lookalike audience of all those things and then segment that down to you know, Temecula and things like that. And you can even, what I like to do is take that and I like to, you know, just add in some income parameters, because I would like to make sure that I'm dealing with, you know, people able to buy my stuff. So you do that. I'm not going to fill the whole thing out here, but you do that and then launch it as you normally would. And what that does, it's like, you have, Photoshop here, guys. Y'all know Photoshop, which is like the photo editing software, and you've got like a smudge on that thing, or like you have like a little dot like this, and you would say, I want to have the whole background look like this dot. So what you're doing is you're basically telling Facebook the same thing, right? So it takes that very small target, and you're saying expand it out to as broad as we can, and then you're saying, well, then I want to take that and I want to chunk it down to a geographic territory, right? Kind of a thing. It's good for a lot of things. It's good for keeping track of your audiences, keeping track of a whole bunch of different things. Man, we dropped off in viewers. Was that last part boring or what? I thought it was cool. I thought that's how I'll make you guys money, and half you guys left. So that's okay. We've got the inner circle. Also, probably people have other things to do with their time than sit here and watch me talk about Facebook ads. So I'm assuming y'all took sales calls and stuff. But I mean, that's it. That's basically it. So do we have any questions on this method? In fact, I'm not going to take questions here unless I get you two guys here who ask me questions. I can happily do that. People in the groups, just comment on those posts, and Matt or myself will get in there and we'll get answers. So is everyone good so far? Can I help anyone with anything before I hop off here?
Yeah, we're good over here. Okay,
perfect, Laura and Rachel. Matt, are you good?
That was the menu.
That sounded Greek, but yes. Okay. I feel the same way about you, brother. Absolutely. Okay. So I'm going to call it quits right now, but the takeaway there is, use that pixel for everything. If you're not using the pixel, you're leaving like a ton of money on the table, both in terms of your leads, your actual conversions, and what your agents, if you're a mortgage guy, so I always like to talk about mortgage guys in this too, that if you have, let's say, 1,000 people you're retargeting, and if your opt-in rate is like 2% kind of a thing on those things, or 3% kind of a thing, that's 20 or 30 leads that just from one ad extra. So if you got like 50 leads off an ad, and you have this potential for 20 or 30 more off the retargeting side of it, then that's almost like a substantial increase. And just think about how many more relationships you can build with that, and so on and so forth. So, all right, guys, it seems like things are going well. Thank you all for watching. Implement as best you can. If you have questions, ask me. I know this is complex. This is like the college shit. So, all right. Thank you guys. Have a great one.
Bye, Chad.